Morning, Chavra. Today is the 13th day of the month of Adar, and it is, of course, Tainus Esther. Tonight is Purim. Happy Purim. Tonight and tomorrow we rejoice and we celebrate. Actually, that's the words as we open up today's Tanya. Yismach v'cheflayim v'simchas Hashem. He will also rejoice doubly in the joy and pleasure which his faith brings to Hashem. Okay, where are we? We're on page 113 in the Chayenu, and in today's lesson, the above mentioned joy that we spoke about last night is twofold. Not only the celebration of our union with Hashem, but Hashem's joy and nachas in his purpose of creation, where worldly darkness and obstruction of the light of Hashem is replaced by revelation through this very process of our being conscious of Hashem's oneness and our faith in Hashem. So, a person will also rejoice doubly in the joy and the pleasure, not just because it's Adar and not just because Purim's coming, but because of the faith that it brings to Hashem, his faith brings to Hashem. For thereby through one's faith in Hashem and Hashem's unity, the Sitra Achra, the other side, is subdued. Taka subdued. And the darkness will be transformed into light. Because the meaning the darkness of the klippos of this world, which obscure and conceal the light of Hashem, ad eis kates, kates sam lachayshech, until the end of days, as the pasuk says, he sets an end to the darkness in Yov. Dahainu, here in parentheses it says, Dahainu kates hayamin, sheyave ruach hatumim min haaretz, v'nigla kved Hashem, v'ro kol basa yachtov, v'shes bar lekamon. What is the end of days? The end of days, as is written, it's hayamin, the end of days. What's the end of days? When Hashem will banish the spirit of impurity from the earth, and Hashem's glory and taka, the godliness within every created being, will be revealed, and everyone will behold the glory of Hashem. That's to say, not only in the mind, but even in the very flesh of man, every single person will be able to receive godliness, as will be explained. End of parentheses. And especially in Chutz La'aretz, outside of Eretz Yisrael, in the diaspora, where the atmosphere is more unclean. When you're in Eretz Yisrael, everything is automatically holy. But outside of Eretz Yisrael, it has the atmosphere of unclean and is filled with the shell and the sitra achra, the other side. There's no greater joy for Hashem than the light and joy caused by transforming darkness. And we could even add here the darkness of outside of Eretz Yisrael, especially what's going on with today in the world, all the darkness and all the war. Eretz Hashem, it'll be over soon, and light will shine forth. And when the light has superior quality acquired by coming out of that very darkness, it's so much greater. So when a Yid in the diaspora is pervaded with an awareness of Hashem's unity, his joy is so much greater. It follows too that the more lowly one is in a spiritual position, the greater the divine joy when he acquires an awareness of God's unity. If somebody, we're talking about physically and also spiritually and emotionally. If somebody fell spiritually and emotionally and he's in a very dark place and he transforms that, good morning, Jeff, and he transforms that, and now he's in a very holy place, he'll be so much, he'll have so much joy, being that he came out of that dark place and he's now in a much better place spiritually. So we've seen so far that one's faith in Hashem's unity leads him to a twofold joy. Number one, happiness in his closeness to Hashem, and joy in the knowledge that his faith brings Hashem joy. And this is the meaning of the puzzle. Let Bnei Yisrael, let Israel rejoice in its maker. Note the expression maker and not creator. But whoever is from the seed of Israel ought to rejoice in when Hashem is happy, we're happy. When we're happy, Hashem is happy. We're all that's what it's all about. Shemechinas Asiya Gashmias Mamish. Who is happy and joyous with Hashem, Hashem's place, Hashem's abode amongst the creatures of the lower spheres, who are on the level of actual physical Asiya. So the word translates in its maker, Ba'isav. And that word shares a common root with Asiya, the lowest level of creation. And with abode, that what we make for Hashem down here in this world, we should rejoice. That was what Hashem's whole purpose of creation was. And for this reason, we have the plural form of Ba'isav. Literally, the meaning of this verse is, let Israel rejoice in its makers. Why the use of plural expression? How could that be? This plural expression of makers refers to our physical world that's filled with klippas and setirach and all sorts of challenges and darkness and difficulties, which is called a public domain, viture difruda, and a mountain of separation, in that they are arrogant and separate from one another. Everybody has his own wills, needs, wants. Hashem's joy in the fusion of this plurality is aroused through this faith in Hashem's unity. Everybody feels that they're all fighting for themselves, then there's disunity. And when we're all focused on Hashem Echad, when we're all focused on God's unity, everything comes together and everything is transformed into light, and they become from the public domain to a private domain, meaning a unified realm for Hashem's unity. What's the takeaway for today? A reflection to bring on joy in your divine service. Rejoice! Rejoice in Hashem's joy. What better time can we be saying these words, Chavre? Rejoice! It's right before Purim, getting ready to celebrate. Despite His transcendence, Hashem is excited every time you do a mitzvah, every time you do a good deed, and you serve Hashem. So participate in that happiness by doing a mitzvah, by learning a little Torah, by giving a little tzedakah. Chavra, today Mincha is a little bit earlier as we read the Torah, and we're going to do. Let me just close up here. Have a wonderful day. Have an easy fast.